and welcome to the Space Engineer's Beginner's Guide Update. I'm Will from Steadfast Gaming, and today we'll be going over everything important that's changed since the last guide. If you'd like to skip the menu and world setup tutorial, click the annotation now to jump to the mining ship build. We covered most of the menu in our last video. Here's what's changed. Let's click New World to create our map. Click Custom World and choose from the left side what type of game you wish to play. For your very first experience, I would recommend that you play one of the Easy Start maps to begin. This will start you off with large ships, small ships, and a station, as well as everything you need to get a feel for how the game will be once you've established your space colony. However, I'm assuming that you've already done that. For the best survival experience, I suggest Asteroids. This map will start you off on a rescue ship with limited fuel and your basic astronaut's tools. Name your world whatever you like and select Survival as your game mode. Making your game private as opposed to offline will improve your game greatly as long as you have an internet connection, as if left in offline mode, your refineries and assemblers will cease all processes anytime you enter an inventory, greatly slowing down your progress. Max players doesn't matter much when you're playing on your own, but if you're playing with friends, then set this accordingly. Environmental hostility refers to space weather, and if enabled will cause meteorites to shower your ships at random intervals. These deal scaling damage depending on what you set it to, and add a nice level of fear and worry to the early game. Later on you can create turrets to blast them away safely. I usually set it to normal. Asteroid amount refers to the number of large, mineable, and destructible asteroids in your belt. The old standard was 4 to 16 large asteroids. They are always evenly clustered together and perfect for beginners to the game. They have since added 3 levels of procedural generation in the Infinite game mode. If playing Infinite, then new asteroids will continuously be created as you travel in a direction. While Infinite High Density looks amazing and is very fun to play, it is taxing on lower end systems. Experiment and play with what suits you and your computer best. Untick autosave and simply remember to save often. Set a timer if you need to, but autosave causes a lag spike every 5 minutes that can cause wrecks or other miscalculations. Clicking mods will allow you to load any mods that you've downloaded from the Steam Workshop into your world. Simply select the downloaded mod in the left pane and click the arrow pointing to the right to load it. To unload a mod, select the mod in the right panel and click the arrow pointing to the left. Go back to the custom world screen and click Advanced. At the top you're given options for your inventory sizes as well as which speeds you can do things in your game. I usually set things to about here to balance fun with realism. No one wants to wait 8 hours for your order to refine. Max objects refers to the number of loose items that can float around outside of inventories. 256 is more than enough for most situations. Limit world size is set to unlimited by default. If limited, a scaled invisible cube will be created with your asteroid belt in the middle. The size will scale depending on your setting. This will allow lower-end computers to run infinite game modes a bit more smoothly. Adjust this setting and see what works for you. Respawn ship cooldown refers to how often you can create a new respawn ship if you destroy your old one. It's best left on the default settings. View distance can be adjusted to improve system performance. Every computer is different, so adjust this setting along with the limit world size setting to optimize your gameplay experience. Auto healing will heal your astronaut over time. I play with this disabled and heal myself when necessary at a medical room. Enable Copy and Paste is a creative mode option for copying ships and stations and duplicating them or moving them from map to map. Clients can save refers to people other than the host being able to save the host map when playing. I recommend having weapons enabled, especially if you play with environmental hostility on. Trash auto removal helps keep your map clean and lag free. Delete respawn ship will remove your starting ship from the game if you log out or die and create a new one. Show player names is best used on friendly servers as it makes you visible to other players from very far away. Enabling thruster damage will cause your firing thrusters to damage other ships and stations as well as other astronauts for maximum realism. Ticking cargo ships will spawn in random ships and stations. Though often booby-trapped, these ships are completely unmanned as there is currently no AI in the game. In-game scripts refers to the programmable block, which allows you to write in-game C# code to control your ships and stations. Though very impressive, this is an unnecessary function, so don't worry if you can't code. Enabling Spectator will allow you to leave the perspective of your ships and astronaut to go into a cinematic camera angle, as well as fly through ships and walls. It's best used in creative mode for movie making. Reset ownership will reset any blocks in the map that currently belong to someone to a neutral setting. Permanent death causes you to lose ownership of all blocks upon death if you have no medical rooms up. Your own turrets will kill you if you try to return. Untaking destructible blocks will allow you to smash your ship willy-nilly into any old thing. No more fear during mining. Enabling tool shake will cause ship tools such as the drill and the grinder to shake your ship realistically, forcing you to balance mass for stability. Though this was the standard, they recently added the option to remove this functionality. That brings us up to date on the menu and world creation. Now let's get into the meat of the video with a revised mining vessel. Since the beginner's guide covered gravity disk mining and stockpiling of resources, I'm going to skip ahead of all that boring stuff and give you a tour of the Magnum. Boasting 2 refineries, 3 assemblers, and 2 blast furnaces, this upgraded rescue ship will serve as the mobile headquarters for the Steadfast faction. I've already loaded all of the extra components into the assemblers and reduced them to their basic elements. We're now ready to start from scratch and build a mining vessel capable of eating all the way through an asteroid with no damage taken. Once most of the refined ore is loaded evenly across the 3 assemblers' inventories, we begin to craft basic components that we'll need for the ship. Note that we split the work between the 3 assemblers using the drop down at the top. This ensures speed and efficiency. We begin by creating a station, and then attach the landing gear of the small ship to the single piece of station framework in order to anchor it. Be sure to place these first 2 blocks via the Create Station and Create Small Ship options in the lower right of the G menu. We then secure the cockpit directly to the landing gear and weld it in place. Armor is added to the sides of the cockpit for drill mounts. A section is removed for conveyors later. This is the perfect width in order to eat away the stone in front of your cockpit. We go ahead and finish up the drills and mounts. Since the drill is attached and holding the 2 sections together, we can now remove this block and add conveyor tubes leading from the back hatch of the drill. The top drill mount is added and welded together. Make sure to remove this block here for conveyors later. This also allows us to weld the otherwise inaccessible block underneath it. The drill is added and the conveyor trench is made, freeing access to the drill hatch. We immediately fill the trench with conveyor tubes to finish it out. The first medium cargo container is added, keeping the tubes from all of our 4 drills in mind during placement. At this point, I decide to replace these slope blocks with cubes, but fail to take their importance into account. Replace them one at a time in order to avoid this sort of catastrophe. After a quick salvage and rebuild, we're ready to add the connector, the device that will act as both our landing gear and means of transferring loads of ore into the Magnum for refining. It has a large hatch on the bottom, so we place that directly on the large hatch of the medium cargo container, connecting the 2's inventories. The small hatches located on the 4 sides of the connector are perfect for hooking up our drills via small conveyor tubes. It's time to hook our drills up to our storage. Since the connector and cargo container have hatches that touch, there's no need for this top conveyor. Attaching the drills directly to the cargo container will have the same effect. It's beginning to take shape now, but we still have no power. A small reactor is added with the hatch facing directly into the conveyor to connect its inventory with the rest of the ship. We fly to the top of the connector and add our uranium. It should then be dragged directly into the reactor, but since we have no power, the conveyors do not function. In order to gain access to the reactor for the first time, or any time you completely run out of uranium, this conveyor must be removed. Once the uranium is added, we replace the conveyor and mirror the reactor to the opposite side of the ship for a total of 2 reactors. We can drag the uranium directly into the second reactor right away, however. The conveyor is now fully functional. Gyroscopes are added to each side and the armor is shaped a bit, ensuring that everything is completely in line with the drills. More armor is added for shape and protection. The rear is armored off completely in preparation of extending the ship. A second cargo container is added, once again keeping in line with the drills at all times. It's now time to add thrusters. Be sure to add them facing in all 6 directions before undocking your ship. One bump could destroy all of your work very easily if you skimp on a side. The bottom drill mount is added, followed by the final drill. The top drill, having been misplaced, is moved forward 1 block to make it even with the other 3. A third cargo container is built, increasing our storage significantly. The final drill is then hooked up to the cargo system. More armor is added, encasing the more delicate components. Some shape is added to this area, the rest of the ship left mostly blocky and utilitarian in design. The cargo containers are armored off for better protection from the elements. The second cargo container is removed and then placed in a less awkward position. Make certain to repair any damage caused by overgrinding. More armor is added, finalizing the rear of the ship. It could be extended with more cargo containers, but 3 will be fine for now. A large thruster is added to the back, and the armor is reshaped slightly. The rear thruster complete. All that's left is to finish out the armor and tweak the placement of our other thrusters. Two channels are removed from the top of the ship. Into the first, facing forwards, goes our ore detector, which does exactly what you would think it would. Into the second we place our beacon, the device that allows us to name our ship and find it from distance, giving it a HUD broadcast. Our build is now complete. Hit K to open up the control panel. Note that I renamed the drills here to be more accurate, but this is unnecessary. Left-click the top drill and hold the Shift key. Left-click the bottom drill and you'll have all four selected. Click in the box marked Block Group on the right and type in a name for the group. Hit Save and you'll see the group pop in on the left panel, marked by asterisks. Tap the G button to open up the toolbar config and navigate to the groups on the left. Here you will find the block group that you just created. Drag it onto your action bar and select Toggle Block On and Off. Exit the toolbar config with the Escape key and press the corresponding button on your action bar to activate the drills for mining. Connectors are made to join together and hold the two ships in place, or transfer inventories back and forth. However, due to this being an upgraded rescue ship, I never claim the Magnum's connector as my own, and cannot use it for these purposes. To claim unclaimed systems on a ship, simply go to a terminal and hit the K button. Navigate to the control panel and find the connector. As you can see, the owner is currently set to nobody. Click an item in the panel to the left and tap Ctrl A. This selects everything in the panel. You can then transfer ownership to yourself on the right. We should now have no problems in connecting the two ships. When in range of another connector, the X on the side will go yellow and you'll be pulled into place. Tap P to lock, changing the X to green. For easier travel, let's create another group for our thrusters. Select the top small thruster and hold Shift before clicking the bottom one. Now we have to select the large thruster, which is separated. Do this by Control left clicking it. Save the block group and exit the control panel. Open the toolbar config with G and navigate to the groups on the left. You can now drag your thruster group onto your bar, setting it to toggle on and off. Pressing the corresponding action button will now switch off the thrusters on our mining ship so they won't fight the thrusters on our large ship during flight. Our new vessel secured to the bottom of the Magnum, we're now ready to move closer to an asteroid for testing. Hovering over an asteroid, we jump back into the currently unnamed mining ship and reactivate our thrusters. We then detach from the Magnum with the P button and hold W to fly directly forward until we're clear of the large ship. We tap V for a quick look around the cockpit and move in close. I chose the thickest and roundest asteroid I could. This one made up entirely of stone to easily tell how much we get from our first expedition. Once in position near the face of the asteroid, we activate our drills and ease in, tapping W. Once the drills bite in, we hold W down, giving no further input. Until we break through the other side of the asteroid, we'll do nothing but hold W down, giving no mouse or other directional input. I tap V and take another look around the cockpit. It truly feels claustrophobic and tight. It's moments like this that make me greatly look forward to my next purchase, the Oculus Rift. To be inside a ship of your own creation on its maiden voyage. The most satisfying and addictive part of this wonderful game. "30 seconds later, we burst through the other side, laden with stone. Spotting the Magnum in the distance, we fly that way. As you can see, this light and utilitarian design is fast and mobile, and has more than enough stopping power if you turn. Let's see what we got by tapping K and navigating to the ship's inventory. As you can see, all 3 cargo containers are completely full, the drill's not too far behind. A total of roughly 275,000 kilos of stone was mined in under a minute, with no damage taken whatsoever. The design, so simple to control, could easily be automated into a massive drone as well, collecting ore for you, but that's a few episodes away yet. That brings us to the end of the Beginner's Guide update, but don't worry, this is a series. In the next episode, we'll be designing a new mothership and exploring changes to the game since the original guide, such as antennas, projector blocks, and much, much more. This game is in a constant state of growth, and I'm here to teach you every aspect of it. In the meantime, like, comment, and share with your friends. It's been a rough couple of months for Steadfast Gaming, but content is finally starting to flow like we've been promising, and I intend to keep it up. You've all been amazingly supportive in my absence, and we've even hit 2,000 subscribers recently. To show you my gratitude, I'm giving away several copies of the game Starmade. Simply leave a comment below stating as to why you think you should be the one to win, and also be a subscriber. Be sure to like this video to help me out, and good luck. Also, I'm looking to you to help name the vessel built in today's episode. Leave a comment with a name suggestion. And until next time, I'll see you around the solar system.